Chapter 4. 道冲而用之，愚不移. The Tao is emptiness, yet using it up is impossible. 渊兮似万物之宗, deep as an abyss. It seems as if it is the ancestor of everything. 错其锐，揭其分，和其光，通其尘. File at its edges, unravel its confusions, soften its brightness or luster, or be one with its dust. 深兮似火存, deeply hidden, yet seems to be omnipresent. 吾不知谁之子，象帝之邪. I do not know whose child it is, but it appears to have been present before the emperor. What a wonderful chapter. Chong here, Chong means lots of things, but here it means the emptiness or the void. And so the Tao is emptiness, and yet it's constantly giving everything to us. It is the source of everything, and yet it is nothing. So really stressing that idea of emptiness but unusable. If we could say, this is the Tao over here, then it would be measurable, usable, and able to be used up. And yet it's nothing, and therefore everything. Deep as an abyss. I had to add extra words there, deep as an abyss. Yuan. Yuan is the idea. In one word, the Chinese have water and this box that's just, right? You unwile the fishing line and it just keeps going. You run out of fishing line. Add more fishing line. Going. Yuan Xi. Just. And so it's so deep. If you try and track back how far, well, if you go back that far, it seems it goes all the way that everything comes from it. It's the ancestor of all things. 错其锐，揭其分，和其光，通其尘. Huge number of different translations, discussions, arguments about what these lines mean. File its edges, unravel its confusions. Edges, the sharp points. You're like, okay, I've got the Tao, and you kind of rub it. Unravel its confusions or its knots, the things that are there. Okay, I figure out what the Tao is. I do all of that. Its brightness. Okay, we're going to kind of shade it so we can look at it, like putting a paper so you can look at the sun. Its dust, it's so small. Okay, I'm going to get with all the dust. I see its small parts. And Wang is wonderful because, like many people who do this, even though this is read in the positive, file its edges, unravel its confusion, soften its luster, be one with the dust, it's actually the negative. There's no way to file away its edges. There's no way to unravel it. There's no way to soften its brightness. And there's no way to get to be as small as its particles of dust. That it's a negative sentence in terms of it's too great for you to have any effect on it. And then other people will argue that it actually is saying that it is able to wear off the edge of anything. The Tao is capable of everything. It can unravel every knot. It can do all of these things. It can shine light on all things. All of it meaning that there's something so great about the Tao that it's beyond all of our comprehensions. And so we're stuck with the idea of we have to use our yogi or our desire from chapter 1, and yet knowing that in our striving, how are we going to do it? We're going to strive to use our minds by filing away edges. The Tao is kind of like this. I have to sit for a long time and then my back hurts, so I have to have a better spine. Better spine, better chi, more Tao feeling. Okay, there's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do all of these things. I'm going to unravel its knots. What is Lao Tzu saying? What are the meaning of these characters? If we had to go look for the Tao, it's so deeply hidden. I mean, we can't look under this table. We can't go get it. I mean, every once in a while, I personally think it's in a very, 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 very good scent of tea. And you just go, oh. I describe good food in two ways. there's good food that you go, and you want to eat more of it. And that's good food. Well, what is great food? Great food is you take it and you go, and you don't want to have a bite of anything else for a while. You want to go, It's very frequent with good Japanese food, which is very lucky considering how expensive Japanese food is. But that ability to have something that makes you stop versus something that makes you want to have more. Suddenly desire, non-desire, we're back in the yin yang, we're back in Lao Tzu. But this idea, it's so deeply hidden, and yet it seems to be present all the time everywhere. Pretty neat. And then he says, 无不知谁之子, I do not know whose son it is, whose child it is. 像 seems to be 帝之贤, before the emperor. Wang, you see, goes on a huge paragraph about this big in my book. This big in my book. On 像帝之贤, on 4 characters. Because he goes to great effort to talk about Di, the emperor. Whose emperor? What emperor? Which emperor? And any time in a reference like this Di does not refer to an emperor of any kingdom or anything else like that. It refers to the heavenly emperor. And the heavenly emperor is considered to be what in our language would be considered to be God. It is the spirit of spirits. It is that which created all things. It's the heavenly emperor who rules all existence, that we understand it. And so, with this, the kings that came along with the emperors, they're considered, when you hear that he's the son of heaven, like you refer to the emperor in China as the son of heaven, they don't mean heaven as in like the sky or this big idea. Heaven there, the Tian, is referring to the heavenly emperor. So he has what's called imperial mandate to rule. Being the son of heaven, he can rule all that is in the visible world, our real world. And so what's fascinating here is Lao Tzu is saying, yes, we have this idea of this person who's the highest or most exalted or the creator of all things. The closest equivalent we have in our language, the idea of God. He's saying the Tao, 像帝之贤. Whatever this is, we don't know what it is, but it's before God. It's before the heavenly emperor. It's the ancestor of all things. That whatever that is, the emperor that we consider to be the ruler of everything, that every king, which, what is he saying in this time period, the Warring States period, and all these people vying for power and kingdoms and growth and absorbing each other and attacking each other. All of this going on, and all of them saying, I have the imperial mandate, I have the jade scepter, I have the ruling stamp, I have the rock, I have the sword, it gives me the power, and this power is given to me by the heavenly emperor. He's saying, there's something that's before it, and that's what we want to pursue. And this thing is nothing. So you can't actually get any power. And if you want to get the Tao, you have to wu wei, or practice the doctrine of non-interference, or non-ness. Do no thing, and everything gets done, is the famous expression, wu wei or wu wei, right? And so, right away, bang, chapter 4, he says how incredible deep it is, how it can do everything, it's impossible to grasp it. This is all powerful, all present, omniscient, it is everything. The only way to experience it is to do nothing. And it's even cooler than the coolest guy, the heavenly emperor. So if you want to strive for something, strive for that. Which means you're no longer going to want to attack the next kingdom and get the big piece of jade or something else like that. But it's this incredible statement of, and he does it wonderfully because you can't just come out and be like, this is more important, this is higher than. People are going to crucify you for that. Right? So he says, 像, seems to be. Can't explain, it's so deep, it's this. It seems to have just come before it. Clever guy.